Yeah. So, well, what do you think we're going to find on the uncle, I guess?
I normally go for one of the canes, either Samaria or Berna, but I'm gonna go for a fire rod start.
Ooh, nice. That'd be interesting. And we're underway. This is exciting. Here we go. Game 3, everybody.
Just get a big 20 out of Link's house, and surely we will be heading over. Oh, we do get an early map check, and we have one pendant in the light world. It's at Tower of Hera, as we got a 5-stick crystal at Desert Palace with a regular crystal at Eastern.
All right, that's not a bad shakeout.
Pendant Hera, I found, is always kind of awkward because it's fairly fast, but if you ever get forced to have to go to the basement, like required to get the big key, then it feels like, oh, I don't know if I want to get this or not.
Yeah. We pick up the bow here with the uncle, so this should be a pretty quick escape sequence. This is usually one of the quicker items for our runners to get through.
Yeah, definitely. It's up there with the hammer, as well as like ease of use, and also saltyphry getting that 4 bomb drop. That's really useful because not only does it give him a bomb for the back of escape, but it gives him enough bombs for the start of Kakariko.
Yeah, getting a single bomb is always nice, so you can take care of those chests in the sewer sequence there. But yeah, 4 is a nice number to have. Looks like Ninban picks up the same drop there.
And we've got an early small key, so that means we're going to get items the rest of the way and a map at some point. Hopefully the map will be in the sanctuary. Save us those couple seconds to run around the altar man and get that last chest.
Alright, as we're in the early part of the game here, just quick shout out to our tracker today, Iceman F1, pushing those buttons behind the scenes there. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, indeed. We couldn't correct ourselves if we didn't have a good tracker behind the scenes doing that job. And man, they've already got enough rupees as well for the bottle vendor, which even before going to the well and blind set, that's always nice.
Yeah, well stocked start at least, so this is good. And why not a couple more bombs?
Yeah, so now at this point, they may not even have to take an extra stop to the shop in Kakariko for some more bombs. They might be able to hold out until later on.
Yeah, they should be able to, if all the routing kind of sticks to as per usual, we'll see them head down to South Shore, and they'll have enough bombs to get through that part of the world as well.
Yeah, and they definitely do want to find something a little more helpful, like a sword or maybe the hook shot to help them with that mini moldering cave on the South Shore, because bow is actually pretty good, but those Moldorm movement patterns with the bow hitbox is a little awkward.
It is. I wouldn't be surprised if either of our runners maybe even went for bomb strats, even though they have the bow in hand.
Yeah, it would also, if they are going to go for those bomb strats, it would help to maybe get a 5 capacity upgrade so that they can have even more bombs to chuck at those Moldorms.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
All right, so we've got saltyphry already heading into the sewer part of the escape, and let's see if he opts to damage boost through these snakes or takes them out. He is putting a lot of arrows into those snakes. I don't know if he was going to farm more bombs, but yeah, so Ninban actually gained a little bit of time because, had a better pattern, but also you know, wasn't killing as many snakes. And there's that 5 bomb capacity upgrade.
Alrighty, just gonna take care of this one little rat here. Easy shot there from saltyphry. Alrighty, let's see what's hanging out in the back here. Ooh, fairy in a bottle. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually quite nice. They can route in sick hit right away, but also the added safety of having that fairy in case they don't get a lot of hearts early.
They also just have to remember that they have that in the event that they're trying to pull off a death warp at some point.
Oh man, yeah. You know, it happens to the best of us where we have like, oh yeah, let's just, you know, take these hits on stolen green mail, and then you waste your fairy, and then you're wasting more time, and you wasted your fairy, and it just, yeah, it doesn't feel good.
So sub 6 escape sequence from both runners, pretty impressive. That bow definitely helps out with that.
Yeah, and it helped that they got that bomb drop pretty early, so they didn't have to farm a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm. So first little bit of divergence here. We've got Ninban heading up to check out the Lumberjack Cave, while saltyphry is just foregoing that check for now.
That bird was trolling Ninban a little bit, but man, he gets... both of them actually get red rupees off of the tier 2 tree pole.
It's like a big 20 just hanging out there in the Lumberjack Cave.
Yep, so far no Aghanim requirements at this point, but they still need to get those 3 required Dark World items before Aghanim is all said and done. Oh no, there's a guard hiding under the bush.
Ugh. Alrighty, so saltyphry is on his way into blind sight here. This is going to be a pretty loaded location. Our first sword. And a heart container. Not bad.
It's a pretty average Blind's Hut so far. Okay, never mind.
Okay,
it's
really
above average Blind's Hut. It made me eat my words really quickly. That's a hammer. That's one of the Dark World pieces of the puzzle that we need.
Yeah, most definitely. Always nice to see the hammer show up early. It's needed for quite a few of the dungeons, so it's fairly common to see early, but there are times when it can hide on you.
Oh, and man, there's already our second sword in the back of the well, and another heart container, another bottle, and a shield. So the well was bringing in the good items right there.
Definitely is. Master Sword early on. I know we've found at least one piece of our Dark World access, but I don't know. Whenever I see sword upgrades really early, I'm thinking that Aga might be my Dark World access.
Salty showing off that, oh god, there's the chicken in the wall. Nothing is wrong, guys. Everything is fine.
Alright, getting our sick kid check here.
Wow, another heart container. So they're up to 7 hearts by the time Kakariko is all said and done. That has got to be really nice for this early game. with the South Shore incoming.
Yeah, definitely. So just a piece of heart hanging out on the bookshelf there in the library.
Now, we could actually see a very interesting route divergence. As we see, there's really nothing on the race game of importance. Wonder if we could have a divergence between Eastern Palace and South Shore, because whenever you get that early bow, that is always a decent option.
Yeah, we see Salty doing a map check here. Might be heading over that way now.
It does sure look like him. We'll have to see if Ninban will follow in his footsteps over to Sarsaparilla's hut.
Yeah, this is a play that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Eastern Palace isn't a dungeon that saves a lot of time if you're in go mode when you go into it. So, seeing as you have to clear it out anyways, might as well pop in and take care of it.
As we really find a whole lot of nothing back there. Just a bit of money.
So it looks like Ninban has the same idea here, to head over to Eastern Palace first.
Yeah, they don't have the lamp right now, so the back end of Eastern Palace is not in logic. But both these runners are definitely capable of doing dark rooms, especially with having a master sword. With the sword beams, if you need them, like, it's really, it makes it a lot easier.
And I wonder if our runners are thinking that maybe, oh, there's the flute. Okay, that's a pretty nice pickup. I was going to say if they're thinking of maybe finding flippers or a little bit more cash, so that when they do the South Shore play, they can route in some Zora action as well. That flute's going to change things, so they might end up heading up Death Mountain if they pick up some other access hook shot or mirror, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. So whenever I see flute this early, I always kind of think, I wonder if Lamp's going to be up on Death Mountain, because in this logic, double dipping, logically, when flute is in Eastern Palace, kind of does happen quite a bit. And Ninban gets his flute, so we'll have to see if either of them will take that quick check up there to maybe get the old man, get that save point for later, or if they'll continue down with the rest of the world minus Death Mountain.
Alrighty, so what's in the big chest here? Let's take a look. Big 20. There's still one more item kicking around here in the dungeon, and saltyphry is guessing that it is in the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, this is a move you'll see, I would say the majority of runners make, because it is kind of a gamble to go straight back to Armos, because if it is in that vanilla big key chest, that is a really bad time if you have to redip the dungeon.
It is. It is surprising, I find, though, that so many runners will go for this big key chest. It's a 50-50. I always try and cut the corner there and go for the Armos Knights and hope that pays off. Ooh, it was the bug net.
Well, that's obviously a required item and definitely worth it. But memes all aside, that bug net is very nice because they already have a couple bottles. So if they ever burn their fairies or they use that bee, then they can easily grab another fairy.
It's a good point.
Ooh, Ninban having a little bit of problems with that damage boost right there, taking a little bit too much damage.
Yeah, if you don't get it first try, you are going to lose a couple of hearts there. And Salty is taking on one of the more deceptively difficult dark rooms. If you don't get this lined up quite right with the Igor there, things can get a little bit out of hand, but he manages to get through.
Oh, Ninban found it almost immediately. That was very nice from Ninban.
I'm interested to see how our runners choose to take on the Armos Knights here. I wonder if they've got different strategies for this fight, or if they're going to go for the same quick kill.
Salty's doing a bottom to top kind of setup. It's actually similar to the way that I generally do it. Ninban's going to be doing the NMG strat right here. Ooh.
Yeah, a couple of missed swings there, or missed arrows there, but all in all, both were pretty solid fights.
You know, and with the way that Ninban did the back end of Eastern Palace, he made up most of that time that he burned going to Lumberjack Cave. So that execution brought him back quite a few seconds.
Definitely did. So with this flute, I'm thinking that our runners are just going to flute down to South Shore from here. It'd be interesting to see if one of our runners decided to go up to Death Mountain first. They'd only be looking at a couple of items at most.
Yeah, without finding that hookshot or mirror, though, they probably won't be as incentivized to go up there because it only is 2 items that they can get right now. The one place I am interested in that has burned a few people in this tournament is going over to check the Desert Ledge and also Agnes Cave. Because Flute makes it a lot easier to get over there, and it is a quick check.
Yeah, hitting up Agina early is definitely a hot play, so we'll see if anyone decides to go for that. Salty looks like he's going for just a regular South Shore, and I think Ninban is right behind him there.
Yep, getting 50 rupees in this chest, bringing that ever closer to Zora money, which is got to feel nice. All they need is probably a 300 drop, and then they're good to go.
Salty says no to that big 20 hanging out there in the swamp.
Ninban decides to go pick up that 20. So Ninban's got about 50 extra rupees, so now a 50 drop could be the difference between Zora money or not. As we're getting some Sword Beam and B-strats from Salty.
That's a nice use of the bee there. And we find the lamp here in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Alright, so no lamp trolling in the seed. I'm sure both the runners will feel nice about that. They'll have a little added safety.
Yeah, because like if we have to do some of the trickier dark rooms in some of the Dark World dungeons, it's not that they're terrible without, you know, but with the lamp in hand, it's going to be a lot easier for our runners to just kind of move through those rooms.
So, kind of an important thing right here. Salty actually had to go back to Kakariko because ran out of bombs. So that's a bit of a time sink that I think pretty much levels the advantage either player had.
Ninban is taking the time to go off to this awkward check here, Ice Rod Cave. Just a big 20.
Yeah, with Flute, makes that check a lot easier. Oh, and here's that Desert Legend Agonist check. We just got bombs on the ledge, but Ninban's going to get this Spear on progression out pretty early.
Meanwhile, I think we just found the mirror in its vanilla location.
That's so good. I have not seen that item in its vanilla location, I don't think ever, since I've started Rando, so that is quite a treat.
Yeah. It's such a bad spot for it. I mean, any vanilla location is always bad, but you never think the old man's actually going to have a mirror.
We've got a second shield in Spectacle Rock Cave. Yeah, Salty's not going to go in for that. Although that is important in case invincibility becomes an issue and we get the third mirror upgrade. It puts Laser Brazier in Logic. And that was pretty quick, but I believe that was a green pendant pod and a red pendant Swamp Palace with the other 5/6 crystal at Thieves Town?
Yes, that's what I saw. Alrighty, so Tower of Hera is the blue pendant, but you're here anyways, might as well take a quick dip in, see what you might find.
So Swamp being a pendant means that flippers don't necessarily have to be in Logic. Like, if they're in a flippers go mode, they can just fake flipper to Ice Palace.
Yeah, which is a play we might see if we get that far into the seed, and it looks like we're not going to need anything out of Swamp Palace. So it's a bit of an interesting play to see Salty heading up into Tower of Hera, immediately looking for the 2 items that are in the dungeon.
Salty's at 1 health right now. He's got to be a little bit careful. Doesn't want to burn that fairy. Ninban does his map check right now. Sees all the beautiful, wonderful knowledge. And there's the powder.
That's a nice find.
Oh, man. Oh. A perfect block by that dead rock. Squirrel's too OP.
Alrighty, so Salty takes down Moldorm here. Ooh, the second item I think is in the basement.
That is correct. It is in the basement because map was right downstairs in the compass chest in the vanilla map chest actually. And yeah, and then powder. And that's it. And compass on 12 room. So yep. And Salty is this early on gonna decide, hey, let's go take a coffee break. Oh, never mind. I just got you baited.
Ooh. Leaving an item behind. Interesting. Oh, that bomb jump was excellent by Ninban there.
Well, I have never seen that strap, but that was swag as heck.
See the Quake medallion hanging out on the floating island.
There's a very high chance of that being required since both of the medallion dungeons are crystals. Let's see if Ninban decides to make that trip down into Hera Basement. Oh, yes he is. He's bringing out the lamp. Alright, well, for Salty's sake, we just hope that, man, there's nothing down here, because this will be the absolute last thing that Salty decides to check, as we get power gloves in the bottom part of Paradox Cave.
So now we're just looking for that moon pearl. Salty picking up the mushroom there, so that'll be a pretty quick turn in. Alrighty, let's see what we got here.
And survey says 300 rupees. All right.
So that did cost Ninban a little bit of time there, but I guess the extra cash in hand is going to push him maybe towards Zora if he doesn't find anything else that he's looking for.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have enough money for all the pod, all the digging game, all the chess game. He's good to go once he gets like Dark World access.
This looks like saltyphry is going to be giving us the magic bat check.
And, you know, now that I think about it, after this, I don't believe they have anything else that we haven't seen, so I believe that's Aghanim?
Yeah, if Zora doesn't have anything.
Ah, yeah, Zora. Oh, we got Tempered Sword, though.
Well, that's pretty nice. We might see Salty check Agina as well before deciding on an Aga play.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's doing right now. And I think actually skipping Zora at this juncture, since you already have the money, is a little bit iffy. But I could see saltyphry doing it, like maybe save and quitting, going to Zora if Zora doesn't have anything hard reset.
Hmm.
Oh, God.
That mini mold are making life terrible for Ninban there.
All right, Salty is getting out the flute. Let's see where he ends up going. He's going to Ice Rod Cave, where Ninban went a little bit earlier.
Might maybe do some fake flippering at this point. See if maybe the hobo has something that can break the logic and, I don't know, get him some other checks in. It'd have to be like an item like boots or something, though, for it to be of any value.
Or a book.
Yeah.
A book would actually be really nice right now. They can they can at least enter desert and get that information. But that does also open up Ether Tablet too if they do get book.
Mm-hmm. Salty's not wasting any more time. He's got the feeling this is an Agaseed, and he's probably right. So he's going for it now.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out very shortly if it is an Aga-required seed, because Ninban is making the trek after the mushroom to go up to Zora. Oh! Well, that's some nice knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
So, that is a required flippers to get a required hook shot. So, that means that we are going to need flippers. We are going to get flippers for Ice Palace.
Yep.
At some point.
Ooh. So, of course, Zora just has the life lesson. Ninban's probably going to knock off Magic Bat, but then that's going to be the last check for him as well, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. And now Ninban's got to be a little bit careful of his bomb count. He's only at 2, so I wonder if he'll do a bomb shop stop before he leaves.
I'm really interested to see what the ledge item is going to be, if it's actually just going to be our Moon Pearl, or if it's going to be some other progression item that'll lead us to our Moon Pearl. I guess it could only be boots or book, like we were saying earlier on the Pyramid Ledge, if it's not the Pearl.
Well, there is actually one more item, and Chad actually pointed this out. You could have mitts on Pyramid, and then Pearl and Checkerboard Cave, the old special.
Yeah, that old one. So I guess there could be a couple of fetch-related items on the Pyramid Ledge, but I don't know. I guess I'm hoping for something a little more straightforward. Maybe just give him the Moon Pearl and be done with it, kind of.
I mean, when would chat ever want something trolly? Obviously never, right?
No, never, right?
Right, and we're now at everybody's most fun game. How many blue balls is Aghanim gonna provide us?
Well, there's one already.
Right, we got a 2 and 2 for the first cycle. Let's see if Aghanim plays nice or if another cycle is going to be required. Oh, Ninban! Okay, everything's fine. He almost got knocked off right there by that guard. He just would not die.
There we go. Aga goes down.
Yep, total of 3 blue balls. And that is the same on both sides for each seed. That is the exact same RNG.
And sure enough, it's just the Moon Pearl hanging out there.
Yep, and as soon as you jump off the pyramid, there you go. You're right back to the old Link form.
So Salty pulling the hammer out here, maybe going to be heading down to Hype Cave and doing some of this South Dark World stuff before, because Pod is a pendant, you don't want to dip into it right away.
It is an interesting choice though, because despite a lot of other seeds where you got parts of it, they do literally have everything they need to complete it, including a ton of hearts. So it is a very interesting skip. It is very calculated though.
I guess thinking that we've already dipped into Pendant Hera, don't want to waste any more time in Pendant Dungeons.
Well, that Hype Cave was lackluster.
Yeah, yeah. So Salty's going to give us the run over to Stumpy, Cave 45, and probably Digging Game as well.
Yeah, having mirrors is really nice when you do this route, because then you can get that cave south of Grove out of the way, and that can be a really, very annoying thing to go back for later. But getting that mirror early is nice. And I forgot, that is a Tingle sprite for the bunny.
Is it?
It looks like Tingle, or maybe
isn't it the Dark World version of the Zoras, the ones that hang out in the water?
Yeah, it does. Sorry, it looks very similar to Tingle from Majora's Mask and stuff.
Maybe if he had a couple of drinks or something, his face is looking pretty red there. So Digging Game turns out piece of heart, so nothing of value there. Looks like Salty is going to take on, maybe dip into Skullwoods here and then go for Thieves Town. Based on the items that our runners have here, this is a play that probably makes the most sense. You can knock off one of your 5-6 crystals. There's quite a few locations here that they can check, so kind of a good idea, I think. If you're a gambling man, then you'd go into Pod and hope for something in there. But if you're playing it safe, I think the Village Outcasts Skullwoods play is the way to go.
Yeah, and Ninban is following Salty's footsteps to go over to the left side of the Southern Dark World. Salty did actually opt to not go into Skullwoods. It's going to go to Village of Outcasts first instead, probably followed by a Thieves Town dip. And wow, 250s, nice.
I can understand going for Thieves Town and Village Outcasts first. The number of times that I have found Fire Rod in one of these locations here after already checking Skullwoods happens way too often.
Yeah, and since you really don't need anything else for Thieves Town, you've got the hammer already, it makes a lot of sense to do this first.
Yeah.
Just progression-wise. We are going to get that Thieves Town dip from Salty. There are 4 items in here. We start off with the compass and the big key has to be in the front 4 chests, so the most that we can get out of here is 2 items. And never mind, because we got both dungeon items in the first 2 chests.
So Ninban is following saltyphry's lead here and is going in the exact same direction. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen a lot of divergence from these runners. The only difference is that Ninban has done more light world checks pre-Aghanim, and saltyphry has not done the Herod Baseman nor Zora, so... and that's given him a bit of an advantage as far as progression so far, because we know there's nothing at either of those locations.
And so Ninban is also going for Village of Outcasts first. And does slightly better in the chest game, picking up 100 and then the 50, which is the set prize for that item location.
Yeah, unfortunately, the money is not going to make too much of a difference at this point, since they've pretty much checked every major purchase item off their list minus pod. So
yeah.
At this point, it's just to be able to get potions at any point. And we did find another item in the attic. It was just another heart container. We have found so many of those in the seed. I mean, these runners are already up to 13 hearts. And even when you're on green mail, 13 hearts feels really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the longer that you stay on green mail in a seed, the more hearts you're hoping to find, for sure.
Salty's going out of his way to pick up some extra hearts, and we've got another bottle of blue goo. That's actually quite nice to have right before blind.
Yeah, usually a boss that if they can keep him on script, it's not too bad. But I mean, if he gets out of hand, having a potion in hand is definitely a plus.
Yeah, with green mail, the flying heads do 2 bits of damage. Then phase 3 can get a little bit nutso.
Most definitely.
Alright, and let's see what pun blind has for us today. Yeah, Flint and Steel are a good match, I agree. That's a pretty lit pun right there.
Yeah, and blind goes down, no problem. Ooh, we find the book.
So that's interesting, because that could be a 5/6 crystal leading to a 5/6 crystal if it's not boots locked.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now the big question is, let's see what Salty does after checking the C-shaped. Okay, that's Mitz.
All right, that was a pretty nice find. Ah, and he's immediately going to be doing blacksmiths here.
So I'm wondering if there is a variation of the blacksmith chest route where you can actually take the chest north when you have the flute, and you can go to Graveyard Ledge and then flute from there after you're done with Graveyard Ledge.
That'd be an interesting call to make. It's kind of like a one or the other here. If he goes for Graveyard Ledge and then flutes, he might miss out on the Bombos tablet, which we can now access.
That's also very true as well.
So we'll see maybe one or the other kind of with this play here.
All right, Ninban got a little bit off script right there, but still makes it through, gets his piece of literature and second crystal, which both of these runners have completed the exact same dungeons at this point in the race, 46 minutes in.
So it looks like Salty is doing neither of the things we've suggested and is just going to be fluting. Oh, okay, I see. He's picking up the portal here, right above Swamp Palace.
Yeah, this is the faster way when you've already done the south loop, going through Stumpy and everything.
Nice.
So also, Sabo, since we're getting close to the 50-minute mark in this seed, let's see what we need for go mode. So we need a bunch of medallions, possibly, and we know where Quake is on the floating island. We need both rods, and we need the Cane of Samaria, and we know where the hookshot is.
Yeah, there's quite a few pieces of this puzzle that have yet to be found. And while we have access to a few more locations now, with the Desert Palace opening up a little bit, possibly, depending on whether it's boot locked, and a couple of chests in Dark Death Mountain, in the Super Bunny Cave, yeah, we might have to dip into Pod or something to try and find a couple of these items that we're looking for.
Yeah, and we are going to actually get a medallion check here very shortly from Salty's screen as he goes over to the Mire area.
Yeah, Mire Shed's a good option here. Oh, Quake, okay. Well, we know where that is.
So yeah, can't complete it quite yet, but they can, full clear the front. Once they get the flippers for the hook shot or they find those boots. And there's Bombos medallion. Speaking of medallions.
So if we find the flippers anytime soon, then that could be, Bombos medallion could be our way into Ice Palace. If the fire rod is in there, or if it's another goofy location, then we might see our runners use Bombos through Ice Palace. Yikes! And we also need the boots, because that was the big key hanging out on the torch.
Oh boy! Well, chalk it up to another thing on the list. Oh, it's a vanilla ice rod! Holy moly! Wow.
Oh. Vanilla fire rod. Did you say ice rod?
Did I say ice rod? I meant to say fire rod. Don't mind me. Either way, it was a necessary rod to complete Skull Woods. Thank you for confirming I said ice rod. Oh no, I was too hyped there.
Well, that's pretty cool. Fire rod. Let's do Skullwoods now. Yeah. For a second there, I kind of thought that I had totally forgotten how this game worked, and that the ice rod was actually in that big chest in Skull Woods. I thought, oh, okay, maybe I've just forgotten how the vanilla game actually plays.
All right, well, as I recover from burning myself, I am going to just say that Ninban is going to the back of Skullwoods right now to get that crystal, and that could troll saltyphry super hard, because again, only 2 items in Skullwoods, and with those mitts, they have a lot of things open to them.
Yeah, definitely. Blue Male hanging out on the ether tablet, so that's the nice little safety to pick up there. A little more armor always helps. But yeah, you're right. With those Titan's mitts, it gives our runners a lot of locations to kind of check or mull over. But Ninban's been making kind of the right plays here and has been stumbling across more items. So he's in a pretty good spot at this point.
Ooh, and we're gonna get a pedestal check from Ninban, so get your hypes up in chat.
Oh no! Vanilla Ice Rod?
Can I say it now?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's the ice rod! Oh my gosh. Holy moly.
So, I mean, the knowledge advantage that Ninban has at this point is pretty huge. He knows that he's got to clear all of the dungeons at this point. So that, coupled with the fire rod that he picked up and the hook shot that he knows is on the Zoral edge, he's got a lot to work with there.
Yeah, and you know, the knowledge is power right now in this seed, with a lot of things on places you can't get. You know, the big key on the torch and desert, that hook shot, the flipper's locked, that ice rod pedestal, which means you might want to go to pod soon there, Ninban.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what that also means?
Mm.
That means that that flipper... Oh, man. Alright, this is some weird logic here. Alright, so... I'm trying to think. So that means... I'm trying to think if there's any place that the flippers can't be. It's honestly most likely looking like Turtle Rock if they find the cane. I'm like trying to figure out where this seed is trying to place the flippers.
Oh, the flippers are going to be in the worst spot. I think you can guarantee that.
The best spot would be in pod, but let's be real, with the way this seed has been working out, I'm gonna go with the worst spot.
Yeah, I think you're right. Something deep in Turtle Rock will be pretty ugly, like Laser Bridge or something. I mean, we have both the medallions to get into our Misery Mire and Turtle Rock dungeons, so those will be open to our runners to check out for flippers. So, I mean, yeah, they could be almost anywhere in the world. So it could get kind of ugly here.
Yeah, and
So-
after a little bit of divergence that we've done, we're having a little bit of convergence here in the pod dip right now.
Yeah, Ninban with the knowledge that he's got to clear this dungeon, though. It is the green pendant, so I would think that Salty would probably also full clear it. There is a chance, though, because he doesn't know this is a pedestal seed yet, that he could bail on the dungeon early.
So, very interesting route that Ninban is taking right here. Skip the vanilla big key chest location. Because, like, opting to do this side kind of after the ramp and the basement. Don't really see this all too often.
I think it pops up if you're like really solid on your small key knowledge when it comes to where they can be placed in a dungeon. I feel like in this kind of route I see from runners who know kind of how everything shakes out in this dungeon.
You know what? It's actually gonna work out right here, because he got the map and the big key and is gonna be able to skip that, and with that knowledge is gonna go straight back to Helmasaur.
Yeah, I like this play. You've got your big key and your small key in hand. Might as well just take care of the boss now. We'll probably see Ninban dip back in afterwards to clear out the rest.
Alright, and Salty's going to be doing the exact same route as Ninban is doing. So we could get some synced up Helmasaur King fights here very shortly. It's a nice fancy movement from saltyphry with that red mimic.
Ninban has a really clean turtle room there.
All right, we're getting some NMG strats from Ninban's side. No sword buffering. A little bit riskier, but is faster because not as much lag. 4 slashes, and there you go. Helmasaur is down.
Alrighty, collects his green pendant, the second of the pendants required to pull that ice rod out of the pedestal. So heading back in to clear out the dungeon, because we're still missing a couple of items for Go Mode at this point, so definitely worthwhile to check out the items in the back here. Salty making quick work of Helmasaur King there.
Ninban does get the clear on the little bombable wall outside of the big chest. there's our last mail upgrade. So that means that Harmless Hellway is a key, because that would be the last of these 6 keys to get.
So with that mail location there, that means that Salty is definitely going to pick that up, and it's going to be on red mail, which is going to be a little bit of an advantage, I guess, for now. The other mail upgrade was on the Ether tablet, so Ninban might skip out on that if we find all the other items we're looking for. Finds the Bloomerang here in the maze.
Man, there wasn't really anything of major value outside of that mail upgrade. Inside of Ninban. No, Ninban. Okay, he is going to go over there. All right. I was a little concerned he was going to flute away, but he is going to turn that green pen in. Let's see if that has any progression.
Ooh.
Not progression, but quite nice.
Very nice, yes. Alrighty, so we're heading back to Village of Outcasts here. Where is Ninban going to go from here? Are we talking about Graveyard Ledge and maybe Bumper Cave Ledge? Can just check Bumper Cave at this point, but...
He's got the blacksmith stuff.
Ah, he hasn't done blacksmith stuff. Okay. That makes sense.
Saltyphry. This flute to 3 should be for Skull Woods.
Yeah, I would think for him. And I mean, based on how things are going with this seed, we've seen almost all of the item locations that are available at this point. In the overworld, our runners are going to have to start dipping into some of the dungeons they probably don't want to dip into. I'm thinking that maybe Misery Mire might have something.
Well, they need boots or the flippers.
Oh, right. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, they can't even do Mire. It makes me think that... So we got Graveyard Ledge left. I feel like I'm missing something blatant, but I mean, they could check what Bumper Cave is.
Yeah, it might actually have to be Graveyard Ledge then.
Oh shoot, you know, Ninban's got to be... Oh, well, if he does lose the chest, it'll be right there. He has to leave and come back onto the screen, I believe, and that will fix it.
Ugh, that's goofy.
Yeah. Oh, and Catfish, thank you. That was what I was forgetting. So yeah, those 2 items.
Not Catfish again. Oh, so Ninban is routing this in with the Graveyard Ledge. This is the play that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and the Bumper Cave check. So we'll see if, you know, is another ledge gonna have a required item. Oh man, our Salty's gonna get that ice rod knowledge.
Oh, and because the way Salty routed Skull Woods here, he's gonna have to go back to pick up that fire rod before heading further into the dungeon.
Ninban realizing that needs to route in that Bombos tablet, so is going back up here to the Swamp Palace portal.
Yeah, when you've got so few places to check, you definitely don't want to be leaving any behind. So yeah, good play. I think the Bombos tablet is just a big 20 or a piece of heart. It's something kind of inconsequential.
So Ninban's still having the purple chest. I think he's gonna head back all the way up to Catfish. Okay, he's getting the flute out. I wonder where he's gonna go.
Oh, have we seen Spike Cave yet?
I was thinking the exact same thing as I saw the Cane of Burnout. I don't think we have. Oh, okay, we did. Yeah, all right. Salty said it was $5. Thank you, Iceman, for letting us know about that.
Huh. Yeah, we're really getting down there. It might have to be Catfish again.
I don't think we have anything else left.
And both of these runners are going to feel like they're probably behind at this point when if Catfish is the thing that we're looking for here, and it likely is, they're going to feel like, oh, it's the same thing as game 2, and I should have done this check way earlier. So interesting to see what's going to be hanging out there at Catfish.
I think the craziest thing that could be right now would probably be the Cane of Samaria.
That'd be so mean, yeah. So seeing as our runners have, they've been kind of divergent for the last little while here, but it seems likely that they're going to kind of run out of options at almost the same time and are probably going to get led to Catfish almost simultaneously, I would think, here.
Yeah, pretty much, because Salty just has Graveyard Ledge. And the crazy thing, too, is they don't have flippers. They don't have boots. So they're going to be taking a nice long stroll up there.
Mm-hmm.
It will give them some time to think, though. Kind of clear their head if they were at all kind of getting a little weary. It will give them a little bit of time. Oh, this is really smart from saltyphry. So using the fact that you've already killed Aghanim and you just save and quit and you poured right back over here.
Nice.
That's really heads-up awareness from Salty's end.
So Ninban is just going to be picking up his Quake Medallion here. It will get us into Misery Mire eventually. Alrighty, Catfish, what you got this time? Yeah, okay.
Well, that's Mire access because saltyphry is gonna get that hook shot here very shortly.
It's Mire access, it's Ice Palace,
Yeah.
it's Swamp Palace.
Okay, so this is actually kind of... Oh, man, this is kind of crazy. All right, so you have Pen and Swamp versus 2 Crystal Dungeons that together give about the same amount of item value as Swamp.
Ooh.
Which one do you dip first? Because you know that Swamp is required in this seed.
Yeah, I think you full clear Swamp and do that first. I don't know.
That's an insanely tough call.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting little glitch there. If you don't pick up Zora's item that he tosses out to you, the item that's on the ledge there takes that form temporarily. So it looks like Salty was going to be picking up the piece of heart there, but then it morphed back into the hook shot. I saw that happen in an earlier tournament run where a runner didn't realize that it happened, and there was an item, a progression item on the ledge there, and when it changed into something else, they noped out and had to go back much later in the run to pick up the item that they needed.
Oh no, that is awful.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting some of that information now for saltyphry's side. We're getting a Swamp Palace dip.
Yeah, I feel like it's the right play here.
I mean, with double the item density of either of the other ones, definitely could, you know, definitely seems like a reasonable option.
I mean, we're still looking for Canis Maria and the boots, so, I mean, 2 items, I don't know, I feel like you're finding at least one of them in a dungeon that's dense like Swamp Palace here. At least the odds are in your favor that you'll find something.
Alright, well, there's already one of our items in Swamp Palace behind the bombable wall. A piece of heart that gives saltyphry a nice little refill. I want to know that these guys have red mail and 16 hearts. They're not even in GT yet.
Yeah. All right, so Hobo just holding on to a bomb capacity upgrade.
All right, we're getting some divergence here, Sabo. We've got Ninban heading into Ice Palace.
Yo, all right. This is interesting. I mean, I guess you're banking on this seed being brutal, and there's just no way that you're going to be able to go mode any dungeon. So you might as well just dip whichever one you feel kind of lucky going for. I mean, there's 3 items potentially in here, so Ninban could be making the right play.
And I actually do like this play from saltyphry right here. Already getting 2 items in the front of Swamp, so is gonna bank on the back of Swamp having items, and maybe having the god of both dungeon items locked behind the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's a really smart play.
Ninban not doing exactly what he wanted to right there, but it still works. He cleared the floor with the bomb.
So Salty has found half magic in the back part of Swamp here. I also found the map, so I believe that leaves 1 item possibly over on that left side.
I think because he found the compass in the waterfall cave or the waterfall chest. So
yes,
that's 2 items.
That would do it.
So best case scenario here would be a big key off of Argus.
Yeah, definitely. And I always like when Ice Palace hands you that first small key early on so that you can just head right over this right side right away. So 1 item off of Argus there, it was 50 rupees, so there'll be an item on the left side and then the big key also on the left side, so this is going to be a kind of a slog through Swamp here.
There's that big key for Ninban and its vanilla location. Just going along the whole things of vanilla items in their vanilla chests or locations.
So Ninban's going to work his way back down to the iced tea room this way, and then maybe loop back around and pick up the big chest if we're still looking for that 3rd item in the dungeon.
I believe so. Just one item left after those 2 pieces of heart. saltyphry is about to conclude his setup of the left side of Swamp.
This Pengator is not playing nice for Ninban here.
Also, ice physics with no boots. Not like this. That was 3 pieces of heart for the 3 items in Ice Palace. That's what I like to call, oh baby, a triple!
So Ice Palace is just the little bit of love palace today. So left side, nothing unfortunately for Salty, but the big key, big chest still remains here. So it's going to be the last gasp for Swamp Palace here.
So solid cold stare fight from Ninban's side. As he gets his fourth crystal. And just a piece of heart in the big chest.
So based on what we've seen here, I mean, it's Misery Mire is where something is hanging out.
Are these guys gonna swap places? Yep, they're gonna swap places.
Nice.
Oh my god. Oh, this is like also the seed of last places you've checked.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't blame these guys. They're taking the density plays right now. And this seed is like, nope, we're going to put it in the weirdest locations possible.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Zelda in the chat there letting us know that, yeah, Hookshot Cave's open now. We have 4 chests up there that are kind of kicking around. Could there be something up there?
Yeah, because we still need that Canis Samaria and those boots. It could be split between our 2 remaining kind of locations.
So, I mean, our runners are definitely kind of the mindset that they've got to start clearing dungeons. Which is why we're seeing the swamp and ice plays here. I feel then it's likely that we'll see, one of them dip into Misery Mire after this. But now that I've been reminded of Hookshot Cave, I'm thinking that might be the spot.
The only reason I think you wouldn't want to do that is because the climb up Death Mountain, even with the hookshot, without boots, is pretty slow. So if you go to the hookshot cave and it's nothing, oh, you are going to feel awful.
Yes. So I guess... Oh, go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say, seeing as our runners are kind of retracing each other's footsteps here, good chance to give them a shout out here. If you like what you've seen today, give these runners a follow. They are putting on a great show for us today. Both top 32 runners, so they definitely deserve a follow. So I'll put that up in the chat here.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. I mean, we're getting to the cream of the crop as far as Link to the Past Randomizer runners are concerned. Pretty much anyone can beat anyone on any given day at this point in the tournament. Yeah,
level of play is so high. And I know that Ninban does NMG from time to time, but has also been checking out the Ocarina of Time randomizer. And on saltyphry's side, he also dabbles in the Final Fantasy rando and also runs Earthbound from time to time. So if you're interested in those, check these runners out for sure.
Yep, definitely. A lot of these runners, in this tournament, they do a bunch of other stuff. So they might have that thing that you'll enjoy a bunch. Ninban picking up his half magic from these 2 bottom chests before the waterfall room. And And I just wanted to note that Salty did actually do the exact same route that Ninban did. So both runners in the same vein of thought.
Yep. Unfortunately, Salty missing the sword spin there. Kind of let the Cold Stare puffs get away there, but with the Fire Rod and Tempered Sword, not too bad.
He finally gets into the corner.
Ninban going for that tricky silver shot there on Argus.
All right, now, because Ninban was actually a little bit behind as far as locations checked. If he skips left side for some ungodly reason, that's going to put these runners essentially even. Oh my god, he's going to do it. What the absolute madman. We have ourselves a race, boys and girls.
That is a pretty crazy gamble. I'm very hype about that.
If for some reason Ninban comes back and wins this race, we're going to look at that moment, and that might be the moment that makes him win.
And when it comes to, you know, top 32 rando tournament, you got to make a couple of gambles like that. Salty leaving Hera basement, for example. So Ninban is making a similar kind of play. We were so close to a simultaneous pedestal pulls here.
Yeah, how often do you get that in Randomizer? Alright, looks like saltyphry opting to do the hook shot cave, and Ninban is going to follow suit.
Alrighty, this is pretty exciting. A spot in the Sweet 16 is on the line here.
And when we're talking early on, before this race even started, about hoping for a close game 3, man, that's delivering at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, we're still 3 crystals away from Ganon's Tower. We're 2 items away from Go mode still. It's been a heck of a seed.
It sure has. As we're going through, we got 2 big 20s, the Uncle Bomb Start, and 300 rupees. The answer is in Meyer.
Oh.
Holy macaroni.
It's so bad.
And the other thing, too, we have to note is we can't get too hype if it's the Boots or the Cane of Samaria, because we still need both of those to finish this seed. And if it is the cane, this could be a bit interesting.
Yeah, it seems like it is probably going to be the cane, and then your boots are going to be up in Turtle Rock. There's only 2 unique items in Misery Mire here, so if both of them were the progression, that would be pretty nuts.
Yes, it sure would be. And as somebody in chat was pointing out, I believe the only fetch quest we have left is the shovel. That could also be in Mire.
No, I don't want that.
I mean, to start off, I don't think you could possibly script this seed if you tried. Oh my god, it's a French vanilla cane in the Broken Bridge chest.
Perfect.
Man, and then if you wanted to make some next level gambles right now, if you get this big key, you go to Vitreous.
Ooh.
I mean, both these runners have got to think, I've literally been in the last place I could have possibly checked. I may have to do something.
Well, that's all of our keys, except for the big one.
Yeah, it has to be either in its vanilla location, and because we got those 3 keys, it could be in the map chest.
Alright, so there's the big key. What's Salty gonna do? He's going right for Vitreous.
Yeah, looks like it. All right. Question is Ninban gonna follow suit?
It is also possible that Salty might dip back in after finishing the dungeon, but I don't know. He might be leaving another item behind. Gambling that Turtle Rock is going to be, you know, it's got a lot of item locations, so might be the play for boots.
All right. We've got Ninban going back towards the map chest. Oh, is actually going to go through to the big chest first. So, my god, if it's here, we better hope Salty goes back in.
Just the compass.
That is not what we're looking for. But that's also going to mean Salty's not going to find it off of Vitreous.
Both runners have been making a couple of interesting gambles in the run here. You like to see it because you got to play this way to win. So looks like he's probably just gonna leave that one chest behind.
Yep, and that's going to pay off for Salty. It's not as big of a play as skipping left side swamp was for Ninban, but it does open up a bit more of an advantage for saltyphry.
Ooh, a dead rock, unfortunately.
Oh, he is getting absolute bodied by those swirls.
Alrighty, so Ninban enters the vitreous fight. Really clean for the small eyeballs. So he's really not that far behind. We're talking about, I don't know, 90 seconds or so, maybe 2 minutes tops.
Yeah, I don't even think it's 2 minutes, to be honest.
No.
It's about, I think it's about 1:15 to go up the mountain without boots.
Ooh, we had Philly Maze 3 there keeping track for us. Looks like about 1:12 by his count. Some others in chat put it at around 1:30, so it's really close. At this point, it's going to be pretty linear to as our runners make their way towards Boots and then over to Desert Palace. So it's going to have to be made up mainly in execution, and then perhaps a left side versus right side gamble in Ganon's Tower.
Yep, exactly. And if it's Tower Room, well, then it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Alrighty, so far we haven't come across the medallion, or sorry, the boots. Ooh, shovel. No. Why would you do that?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I almost... Oh, geez. That is such a... Oh, no. Is there any moment, because you get it at the front of Turtle Rock, that you just leave and go check shovel? I mean, that's a legit question. I'm not being completely facetious about that.
I don't think that you could pull yourself away from the dungeon, but man, you'd be tempted for at least half a second.
I mean, the reason why I'm now thinking about it, you probably wouldn't, because you're going to have to just clear Turtle Rock anyway. You have everything, so you can just check it if it's not in here.
Yeah. I mean, unless the key layout is totally optimal, even go-moding Turtle Rock isn't going to save you a ton of time, so you're likely going to be clearing most of it out anyways. I wonder if either of our runners is going to skip Mimic Cave. I don't think you would, but it's a pretty quick check. There's the third shield. It's the second one that Salty's picking up here. The third one was, the other one was in Spectacle Rock Cave.
Well, so that means if you somehow never got the purple chest, the laser bridge is now entirely in logic. Oh, that was just a rude chain chop hop right there.
Alrighty. Pulling out the mirror, we're gonna see Mimic Cave here.
All right, what is Mimic Cave gonna have for us? It's a butter sword.
All right.
So that's quite nice. That's gonna make the Ganon fight like absolutely free.
Yep. Still no boots, though. Laser Bridge is looking more likely for sure, but gosh darn that shovel. Ugh.
All right, we just got the compass in roller room number 2. So that means Laser Bridge has the final key and could have our answer to finishing this seed.
Yeah, it seems likely it's going to be hanging out here on the Laser Bridge.
I've learned enough times as a seed to say it's not in the likely location.
Fine, it's gonna be at the dig spot.
Oh man, this seed has conditioned us in a very bad way.
Yeah. Oh, cape. No.
Well, we know that cape doesn't do anything for us. There's the map. And there's our small key. There is one last chest here.
Oh, and it wasn't boots.
Oh my god. It's in Shovel Spot. Oh no, it could be on Trinex though.
It could be on Trinex.
Yeah, it could be on Trinex. But it's a 50-50 at this point. It has become a literal coin flip.
So Ninban opting to not pick up the little pot of magic there, which Salty did in that dark room there. So that's a little time save. Every little bit's going to count on the way in here.
Very nice Trinex fight from saltyphry. Oh, the red magical boomerang was the last thing on Laser Bridge. Oh, and there's the boots on Trinex!
I was almost getting hyped for a dig spot, but this is okay too.
Yep, exactly. And you know what that means, Sabo? That means that an hour and 43 minutes in, saltyphry has officially entered Go mode.
God, 143 for Go mode. That's terrible. What a seed.
And they get to run back up Death Mountain after they get and take a nice little trip and say hi to Land Mollis.
So this Desert Palace is going to be really quick because the big key is on the torch here. No need to check anything else.
Yep, and they have the mirror to get in the quick way. And we are only about a minute and change apart from each other right now. This is definitely going to come down to execution and Ganon's Tower big key routing.
Already Salty, only a couple rooms away from the Landmolus fight here.
Yeah, let's see if he can get that 6-0 cycle with either the Fire Rod or the Silver Arrows.
So he's going in with Fire Rod. Ooh, miss a couple hits on that second Landmo.
Well, that provides another opportunity for Ninban to make a little bit of time up.
Yeah, at this point, 5 seconds is 5 seconds, so...
And that's the 7th crystal for saltyphry. I believe we have a little bit of a game to play, correct?
Yeah, Trojan Dude, I believe we do have a game to play. So in Ganon's Tower, we have 22 chests in the basement, one of which contains the big key. We are looking for that. Which chest do we think it's going to be in? Put your guesses in the chat, and if you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels, or you've donated 250 bits across the board, you'll be entered for a chance to be on our leaderboard if in fact your guess is closest. So, Trojan Dude, where do we think this big key is going to be?
I go with my lucky number 11.
Ooh! I usually guess somewhere in that neighborhood too. That's usually the rando room if runners follow the usual path. I'm going to go with 13.
Alright, sweet. Yeah, so that's that could be depending on routing. It could both be in the random room, I think.
Yes.
I forget if there's any set where 10 or where 11 and 13 is both the rando room.
I think it would probably only be the 2 right and then full left after that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
both of those. Yeah. Well, saltyphry is going to be entering into Ganon's Tower here. What looks to be about 147.57 is starting the crystal animation here.
Yeah, and while we were talking about the Ganon's Tower big key, Ninban was literally a butter slash away from zero cycling Landmolus, but unfortunately just barely missed it. So, call it a draw on that.
Okay, so we do get a key out of the 2 right side chests here. So Salty is going to go right. If Ninban goes left, then he's going to be able to make up a bunch of time if, in fact, there's nothing on this right side here.
Yep, Salty is doing those Candace Amari strats to get through this room. And remember, the Ganon's Tower big key is going to be off of Salty's screen. So we've got 3 bombs for number 3, more bombs for number 4, big 20 for number 5, and 300 roops for number 6. So it is not right side.
And if people keeping track here, Ninban is 110 behind right now, but is going full left here. Oh my.
Oh, it's on the torch!
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So Ninban just needs to get this key. And he's going to head straight up. Salty's going to get this key and does not have to kill the mini Helmosaur up in the top. That is very important. That is a little bit of time that Ninban has to use to get another key. This is all about execution now. This is what we want to see from a game 3.
This is fantastic. I'm so excited.
And I just want to mention, man, that is a heads-up play in the moment with all this pressure on you from Ninban, knowing you have the boots to just go check the torch first.
Yeah. Playing through the mimic rooms here. Pretty good for Ninban through the spikes here. Salty really clean through the spikes. Cannonball run.
Yeah, they are literally one room away from each other as they are entering the gauntlet right now. Ninban is going to opt to use some silver arrows for the starts of these rooms, at least. That was a very nice Salphos room.
Salty switching over to Fire Rod here.
Oh man, you can tell the nerves for both of these runners are starting to set in. They're slashing furiously, wanting to kill all of these enemies in the gauntlet. And Ninban is going to do a sword swing and just messes up a couple slashes. We're both in the Land Mollusk room at the same time.
Oh no! Salty takes the lead with the silver arrow strat.
Holy crap. They are like 3 seconds apart from each other. Oh no, it's Salty messes up the Wizrobe strat!
And then Ninban falls through the hole there.
Alright, great job in Wizrobe number 2 from both runners. We're heading over to the Lantern room.
Ninban making up just a little bit of time there. Going for the magic pickup though. He's got to pick up that extra key that Salty does not.
Yeah, that is kind of a major point of emphasis right now. Very nice strat though in that room. Does not lose that much time with the way that he just did that.
Both going for powder here. Ninban had a little bit of trouble in that final room there before Moldorm.
Oh, and Ninban falls!
Oh, no.
Ooh, and Salty actually almost got the bounce house right there. But does get through that room, so has gotten a bit of a lead from that. As we go into the geometry quiz of Aghanim 2.
Oh, a triple. Fantastic.
This is looking up like a nice setup for another triple, but only gets the single, hitting those first two a little bit early.
So a 3-1-2 from Salty there.
Oh, and Ninban also gets the triple to start off. Let's see if he gets this pattern a little bit better. Nope, gets about the same. So can he also get the 3-1-2?
He does.
All right, we've got one Ganon fight, Sabo. That's it. That's all it is. All the marbles right here.
Oh my god. With this setup, this should be an easy fight, but you can see that the nerves are kind of getting on to our runners here. You never know what could happen. Already into phase 3 here for Salty.
Now let's see how the teleports are. So far, so good. No teleports at the moment. Still no teleports after the third hit. 0 teleport Ganon.
Really nice double. Looks like he can set up for another double here. This might do it. Oh, he missed that. But there we go.
It doesn't matter because Salty gets another double, and that is going to be GG to Salty. He's going to come out with this Game 3 victory. Holy mackerel. What a race.
Unreal. Alright, so we'll try and get our runners in as soon as we can here. We'll get Salty in a little bit.
And Ninban also skewers the big pig and is going to be walking through that door. We have official SRT times. First off for saltyphry of 1:56.11 and Ninban with 1:56.40. A 29-second difference.
Alrighty, so let's pull in saltyphry first and congratulate our winner here. Saltyphry, GG's, congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so just want to get, this was a crazy Game 3. Just want to get first your thoughts on that seed, and was it literally feeling like last place checked everywhere?
Pretty much, yeah. The one relief was actually when I checked that pedestal and saw the ice rod on there. So I just checked pod and full cleared it and got absolutely nothing. So I was feeling pretty down at that point in time. And when I saw the ice rod, I was like, all right, it was not all for nothing. So at that point in time, I still felt pretty good. And where everything was, I never really felt like I would be way behind because I figured like he would have to be checking everywhere as well to find stuff in the end. So I figured it would be close in the end, and obviously it really looks like it was.
It definitely was a fantastic race to watch. I mean, because as you say, you guys were having to clear pretty much everything. The way the seed laid out, there was no way you could go mode any of the dungeons really. So it, yeah, you're thinking that you couldn't be that far behind was right on, and it came down to a little bit of execution at the end there. And yeah, wow, what a race.
I was kind of disappointed I didn't go get those flippers off Catfish earlier, because in our last race, that was the one spot I put off till very last, and it had the cane. And I had it in my mind, I'm going to go check that spot early. I'm going to go check that spot early. And then sure enough, it ended up being one of my last spots, like it always is.
Of course, right?
Like, it wouldn't have even been that horrible, since we had done AGA, and like getting from the pyramid is not the worst thing, but I just kept putting it off. There was always other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at one point, way back early on, Ninban was a little more thorough pre-Aghanim and actually checked everything, and that's where you got an early advantage because you skipped over Hera Basement and Zora, which both had nothing. And so, did you have those either in the back of your mind for a while? Obviously, you did eventually, check Zora, but was Hera Basement at all in the back of your minds?
They always kind of were. I was always kind of hoping they'd be nothing, obviously, since I did skip them. I always have this thing where I don't like full clearing before doing AGA if I don't have to. Obviously, when it's the Moon Pearl there, it was a lot tougher. Like, when I first, from the moment I got the mirror in Mini Moldorm Cave, like, AGA was on my mind at that point in time. I just felt like it was headed towards that way. And I kept getting, I went up to Death Mountain, got the mirror, and was able to kind of full clear that whole area. I didn't really get much. I guess I got a power glove. That was about it. But still, it was just kind of the thing where I kept thinking, egg. I wanted to do it. I wanted to gamble earlier, but I really couldn't justify it since it was, you're going there and you need the moon pearl pretty much on that pyramid, which is a really crummy situation.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I guess, how about we pull in Ninban now so we can kind of have a chat with him as well. Hey, Ninban, welcome to the party. GG's, man.
GG's, that's right.
GG, Ninban. Sounds like it was quite the race.
Yep.
Yeah, give us some opening thoughts there, Ninban. What did you think, man?
I really liked that seed. It was an old dungeon seed in disguise. And yeah, it was really fun finding the moon pearl on the pyramid, then the ice rod on the pedestal.
Yeah, it really gave you everything, huh?
Yeah, and I like that we had so much information, like the quake on the floating island and the hookshot on the Zora ledge, plus the pedestal ice rod. Those were really nice informations to have.
I always like ped seeds, especially if you kind of get that information a little earlier. It kind of makes for interesting routing at that point in time. Like, I'm not one of these people that hates ped seeds by any means. I generally enjoy running them when they come up.
Yeah, it's definitely enjoyable, except when you don't have the book and you have to blind clear all the game.
Yeah, when it kind of backs into the pedestal out of nowhere, those ones aren't necessarily quite so fun.
Yeah, but this one was really fun.
And man, the pedestal thing was also crazy, but man, Ninban, I have to ask, where can I order the steel cojones to skip left swamp in that situation? Like, holy mackerel.
Well, yeah, what were you
what were
you thinking?
Yeah, what were you thinking, man? That was a big skip at that point in the race.
Yeah, but that was just 1 in 4 chance to have progression, so I wanted to go Dark Death Mountain first, and then after that go into Mire because of the items leading there, being after the items leading in Swamp.
I was very close to doing that myself, actually. It was like a coin toss for me. If this wasn't an elimination race, I almost certainly would have just skipped it. Like, if this was just a random SRL race, there's almost no way I go back in Swamp in that situation.
Yeah, that's understandable too.
Because that really that helps you catch up a little bit there. Because at that point, you guys had swapped out doing Swamp Palace and Ice Palace, and at that point, Salty had pulled out a little bit of a lead there. And by skipping left, you gained a little bit of time back there. It was also interesting to note that you actually had a lot more of the knowledge ahead of time, Ninban. You knew about hook shot and the fact that it was actually a ped seed a lot earlier on. And I guess that gave you a bit of an advantage. How did you, were you thinking that knowledge would be important in this seed, I guess?
Yes, I was, after finding the fire rod in its vanilla location from the vanilla big key.
Nice, yep.
And then after that, finding out about the pedestal, I kind of guessed that I was the first one to see the pedestal.
Yes.
Just because of that fire rod being hidden.
Yeah, I'd put off Skullwoods. I went and did pod and full cleared that, so I was kind of feeling down at that point in time. So I full cleared that, and all I got was the silver arrows. So then I was kind of heading over towards the ped to see what was going on there. Just found out the ice rod was there and got my fire rod at that point in time. That kind of, I guess, helped a little. It didn't really send me on my. I guess I got the flippers shortly thereafter, which really kind of sent me more on my way.
Yeah, those were nice. The flippers were on Catfish, and that was my last location to check.
Yeah, it was damn near my last one. Like, I'd gone there, and then I was going to go check Zora, because I actually didn't do Zora before Aghanim, so I was going to do Catfish and then Zora together at that point in time, since those were kind of two of my last locations then.
Yeah.
But after Catfish being Kane in our last race, I had it in my mind I was going to go there early, but then I never ended up doing that.
And look at that collection, hey, I just have one more item than you, and it's fun.
And I think your menu time was almost the same, like 3:40 as well. Yeah, this was just a neck and neck race. It was fantastic to watch.
I guess my one gamble of skipping the one item left in Mire probably helped a little bit too. At that point in time, I felt like there was 6 items in Turtle Rock, and there was 1 left in Mire, and there was a chance it was on Vitreous anyway. So I just decided to go for it at that point in time.
Yeah, like I said to you in the chat earlier, I didn't want to do that because I still had 2 items left in Swamp. So I was feeling a little bit more conservative about absolutely not going back in Mire.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and that's what I kind of figured when I was watching you, just continue back on to the right-hand side. I'm trying to think if the seed had so many just weird kind of divergences and then reconvergences. Man, going up Death Mountain like 50 million times.
I didn't help myself with that because I went up to check Dark Death Mountain without the hook shot and get Quake, and that was completely kind of pointless at that point in time. So I figured I might be finding the hook. Oh, you did the same thing. Yeah. So you probably find like 5 or 6 times, kind of like I did too. That's funny. That was one thing that could have felt like it could have been done so much more efficiently. If you got those flippers and the hook shot and went up there and did it all in one go.
Yeah, definitely. And after that, you just do left side swamp and the Mire.
Well, yeah, if you just went to Mire at that point in time, you probably would have been set, because at that point in time, you would have, all right, the Ice Rod, you can go to Swamp, and then, yeah, get your Ice Rod and head up to Turtle Rock. Seems like the logical play. You probably would have been able to go mode Ice at that point in time, but I did Swamp, and then Ice, and then everything. I put off Mire forever.
And another thing, Chad was just reminding us about that. Like, the last thing I kind of want to bring up was the consciousness of Ninban to go left first actually completely resynced you guys in Ganon's Tower. That was a pretty crazy moment in general for it to be on the torch right there.
I was actually able to catch that just because of the delay. That was pretty crazy. I saw that.
Yeah, same on my side.
It's sometimes really hard to get away from your autopilot and just say, all right, I'm going to do my normal route. I always go right if I get a key on blah, blah, blah. And, sometimes those situations need a little bit of an audible on the fly. And it was great to just see you guys just go execution all the way up Ganon's Tower. It really was a treat to watch.
It definitely made for an exciting finish, that's for sure.
Yeah, so Salty, how you feeling? You're into the Sweet 16 here. Your next opponent is going to be Kyung, which is going to be pretty tough, but how you feeling about moving on in the tournament?
Feels great to move on. In my bracket, I predicted I'd meet Kyung in the round of 16, and I predicted I'd lose, so that's what I think about Kyung as an opponent, at least.
It's going to be a tough one, for sure.
And likewise to you, Ninban, just want to give you a chance to say last words. This is unfortunately the end of your run in the tournament, but making top 32 is nothing to sneeze at. It was a really great accomplishment. And yeah, any thoughts on your end?
Well, I wish good luck to saltyphry against Kyung and the rest of the tournament. I hope you win, since these were very good racers we did. And I guess now that I'm free, I'm just gonna play more kind of time randomizer.
Nice. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, GG's to both of our runners. What a fantastic third game to this set here. I think we're gonna start wrapping it up. I hate to leave this one because it's been so much fun, but yeah, thanks to Iceman, our tracker, doing an excellent job behind the scenes here. And thanks to my co-commentator, Trojan Jude. It was a blast, man. I think I'll let you wrap it up here.
Yeah, likewise, Sabo. It was such a fun race to do overall, and it was a pleasure commentating with you. Just lots of really fun moments in that one. But that's going to do it for this series. Again, saltyphry is moving on to the Sweet 16 and is going to face off against Kyung. That will probably be scheduled sometime in about a week and a half or so. There is no more randomizer for tonight. the next match is going to be Game 2 of Bwayne versus Gerdo on Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time. So we get some kind of early rando in the day. So that'll be quite nice. And I believe with that, we're going to sign off for now. And hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you are.